this focus issue is around the solaRISE project coming out of Casco Bay, and I know that we have several Casco Bay students. And Mr. Pierce, are you setting this up, or who's? All right.
Good evening. My name is Siri Pierce. This is Lucia. They can introduce themselves.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lucia Durrani.
I'm Lily Kerrigan.
I'm Brianna Holston.
I am Amy Ishimwe.
And we're all Casco Bay High School juniors representing solaRISE Portland. So last year, our school's environmental club researched the possibility of installing solar panels on our roof at Casco Bay High School. But this idea quickly transformed into a much larger plan to solarize all of our schools. And we developed a name, solaRISE Portland, and partnered with students and teachers across Portland, as well as Sierra Club's Climate Action Team and Revision Energy, as well as city officials, the mayor, to craft a proposal to share with the city.
And collectively, we created a list of goals. We will promote and educate city leaders, students, and other stakeholders about the values and necessity of using existing city properties and roofs for a series of solar arrays that will bring the city's demonstratable closer to the goal of being carbon neutral by 2040. We will use our expertise, resources, and advocacy to push the city leaders to develop an RFP for this project and a plan of action to see it through within the next year. We will use our expertise, resources, and advocacy to push the school board for revisions of a district energy policy so that it is in line with the city's goals of carbon neutrality as well as the Portland Promise. And our school and our city and school facilities will reflect our community's values of being a teachable tool for sustainable and environmental stewardship.
The current plan for solar arrays will cover 79% of the electrical needs of 6 Portland schools. Revision Energy is responsible for drafting this preliminary plan, and solar panels would be installed on top of 6 school buildings with the most ideal roof space and conditions and access to sunlight, according to Revision Energy. These panels would have peak power generation of 2.2 megawatts, and the proposed schools are Casco Bay High School Paths, which uses 951 megawatts but could produce 547 megawatts. King Middle School, which currently uses 286 megawatts but could produce 288. Riverton Elementary School, which uses 1,100 megawatts but could produce 927. East End Community School, which uses 446 megawatts but could produce 250. Ocean Avenue Elementary School, which uses 363 megawatts but could produce 195. And Lyseth Elementary School, which uses 187 megawatts but could produce 423.
This is just an idea of what a plan could look like. So we ask that the city develops an RFP for this project within the next year. This means requesting the best deal for a potential solar array from companies across Portland and the state of Maine. A conservative estimate from Revision Energy, so the plan that we just previewed, would cost a little less than $5 million. However, one potential way to finance this project is through a power purchase agreement, and this allows the city or school department to buy the panels at little to no upfront cost, and then the city or school department would pay investors instead of utilities, and the cost per year would likely be slightly more than we currently pay CMP, but how much depends on a few different factors. So one of these factors is the scale of the project. So ultimately, the larger the project, the more cost-effective it could become. It also depends on federal and state incentives for solar. Right now, federal incentives are strong, however, they're likely to worsen by 2020. But state incentives are likely to become more compelling in the coming years. And another factor is whether or not the city would decide to buy the panels outright. So we would have that option the first year, the 5th year, or the 10th year in to buy the solar panels from this investor. And also whether or not we can find a consistent foundation of funding or corporate support that would impact the cost of the project. And the final factor that might impact the cost of a project of this scale is whether or not there was a concurrent effort among students and schools to conserve energy, so overall spending on energy went down. And all of these factors would impact the cost, but ultimately we can't tell you what that would look like unless the city develops an RFP for this project. But that being said, we can tell you what the impact of solarizing our schools would have on our community, and Brianna's going to tell you about that.
Along with the plethora of environmental benefits, the panels would promote environmental stewardship among our school communities and encourage schools to develop science curricula that center on renewable energy as a solutionary measure to global climate change. The Solarize Your World intensive course at Casco Bay High School last month is an example of the educational opportunities that could be available for all Portland Public Schools students. In January, I was part of the Solarize Your World intensive. For this intensive, Casco students grappled with the usage of solar panels. We did labs to better understand how they work and the mechanisms behind solar arrays. For fieldwork, we visited Revision Energy and spoke with experts about solar panels, and eventually went to see the Ocean Avenue solar array. After building this background knowledge, we began our own solar array designs for our own households. This project gave us the necessary experience to create models for a full CBHS solar array. In teams, we prepared multiple designs for CBHS and compared them. Here's an example of one of our prototype designs created by my team member. This design is roof-based and is not easily seen from the ground. It generates 385,828 kilowatt hours annually. However, my team for the CBHS solar array chose this for the final design. It is a ground-based design and generates 266,205 kilowatt hours annually. This design is able to be seen from Allen Avenue, which means that the public will be able to view the solar array. Having a solar array in public view is a great opportunity to educate people about solar energy and dispel the beliefs about solar arrays detracting from a site's appearance. The public exposure of this design was ultimately the reason our team chose it as the final design. Overall, taking this intensive helped me gain knowledge about solar energy by doing hands-on experiments and designing real, relevant projects. I believe that installing a solar array on CBHS or other Portland public schools could be a great way to teach students of all ages about solar energy and environmental science.
People may ask why solar? Solar has extensive environmental benefits. As climate change intensifies, sustainable fossil fuels alternatives are becoming more crucial to the well-being of the planet. The city has already committed to prioritizing sustainably by setting the goal for the city operations to run 100% renewable energy by 2040. This is an important step towards meeting this goal. It is the responsibility of our generation to ensure that we have a healthy planet for our children. We demand that our leaders take concrete action in order to mitigate the effects of climate change in our world. And the students of Portland are ready to see this change. We created a video of the voices of Portland students across the district, Let's hear what they say about this idea.
So the first question is, can you tell us like one place that you love in Portland or Maine that you want to protect, or it can be a thing?
Standard Bakery Company on Commercial Street, because like it might get flooded.
Trails.
Our ski mountains.
Fort Gorgeous.
Oceans. Forests.
Back Bay.
The harbor.
Old Port.
I like everywhere that's outside.
And why do you think it's important that kids speak up about this issue?
It's good for kids to speak up about it because like when like it's like sort of like maybe when they're grown-ups they might like it might get like really flooded and like so they have to speak up about it when they're younger so when they're grown up it doesn't happen.
Why do you think the City of Portland should support solar energy and solarize our schools?
Well, if we want to if we want to survive on this planet, I mean, everyone is going to have to eventually turn to new renewable energy. And like, why not start now to get a head start? Or just start, I mean, we're going to have to switch eventually. If we don't do anything now, then like, the people who are really going to suffer is the people who are younger now. So we gotta, unless we do something, then we're gonna have a very different life than our parents.
If we stop it now, it will stop, but if we don't stop it now, it'll just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and we'll like have to move to Mars.
It's not really their generation that's getting impacted, it's us. And if they don't listen to us, then we're just not gonna have very good lives. Fossil fuels will probably run out eventually, but the sun will never run out, as far as we know. So, yeah. You never know. It might.
How does this project make you feel?
Empowered!
Optimistic.
We want change. We want solar energy.
Yeah. solaRISE Portland!
solaRISE Portland.
solaRISE Portland!
Let's do this.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Do we have any questions? Anybody wanted to discuss any information? Ms. Victor?
I just want to commend the Casco High School students for coming forward with this proposal. It's really inspiring to see, and I want to work with you as we move forward to try and make this a reality. I had a question about about the scope of the proposal. So you talked about there would be solar arrays on 6 schools, and you reduce energy consumption by, or it would meet, the needs of 79% of the energy needs. Is that across the 6 schools or across the district?
Just across those 6 areas.
Okay.
But, we've been talking about even this. That's just one idea.
Do you mind coming up to the podium so people who might be watching can hear you as well?
Sorry. I think that would just be for the 6 schools, 79% of those 6 schools. However, we've been talking about expanding that proposal. We wanted to make it more reasonable initially, but I think the mayor is interested, at least in our conversations with him, and even expanding it to meet the needs of a higher percentage of our district's energy consumption.
Great, thank you so much.
No, nothing else. Thank you guys so much. That was excellent and such important and timely information for us to hear.
And I just wanted to also commend you and thank you for the initiative. And, you know, I'm obviously always incredibly proud of all of our students. And I know that, that part of what Casco Bay is about public policy change. And so this is a great example of you bringing something forward that's concrete and is about public policy. And so I also want to let you know that it is on our agenda for the Operations Committee as we do our agenda setting this week to look at solar energy and just energy improvements across the district as part of our agenda. So stay tuned because we are looking at that.
Ms. Bigdo, go ahead.
Just want to encourage you to stay on us. Change takes a lot of work. You've come to us with a really good first step, and please, keep working to help the city move forward with this, because your voice is really powerful so far, and I think will continue to be to help make.
Thank you.